Welcome to the Let It Bleed podcast, a place where you can hear the liquor-fueled ramblings of two narcissistic wizards who conjure the essence of inspirational people every week and bring it straight to you.
And just how do you plan on doing that? Magic. Motherfucker.
And now for the wizards themselves, David Amaya and Phil Arroyo.
Welcome back, everybody.
We did it. We made it back, and nobody out there, just died from heartbreak and sadness.
Yeah,
far
I
as
was
we
kind
know,
of
anyway.
worried there for a little bit,
We haven't
but
checked on Dave May.
yeah, I know he's over there crying right now.
One could only hope.
I know he definitely loves everything that I say and post all the time.
You should post
really.
more, really.
I should post
I've been
more.
missing it because I've been missing it mostly because I haven't been using Facebook, and it's been like really nice.
Yeah,
And the only thing I miss is your quality content that you put out just constantly. I only wish you would post more. It's great how we do super specific inside jokes about shit that just happened 5 seconds before we start recording.
yeah, because nobody knows what we're talking about.
Clearly we've learned nothing. So welcome to season 3.
Yes, welcome to season 3. We've got a fucking awesome kickoff episode for you with fucking amazing drummer and DJ and Kendama fucking
Kendama wizard?
A Kendama wizard.
Kendama master.
A Kendama master.
Yes.
Yeah, well, he even gives a little tutorial in the show. We're talking about my buddy Zimbu, Blair McGloiry. I think that's how you say his last name.
Mr. Blair McGloiry.
Yeah.
God, I had to look it up again because I'm like, I know I've seen it. I had to get it to spell it right.
Yeah.
It's spelled weird, but
We
yeah.
didn't even ask him that. But anyways, yeah, Blair is on the show. If you are into the LA-based scene at all, then you probably have encountered him, had some great conversations with him, and fucking rocked out to his music. He's an awesome guy.
He's a high energy cat, man. He just came in like a fucking wrecking ball.
Yeah.
And dude, it just it woke me up because we've been off for a little bit. It's been a good 4 or 5 weeks or some shit like that since the last time we did a show. And so I was like, okay, I gotta, dust myself off, make sure I know how to do this. I'm like, oh man, is my energy level right? And then he just basically kicked in the door. He's like, what's up, motherfuckers? And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
I like this guy. We fed off that. And that was a super good show.
Couldn't have asked for a better person to help us jump right back into it, to be honest with you.
That was straight up jumper cables to my nipples level of energy and excitement that came into it. So I am fucking back and more stoked than ever, dude. And we covered a wide range of topics there.
Yeah, we did. We talked about kendamas. We talked about
dispensaries.
not eating for
Alex
10
Jones.
days.
Yeah, you're fasting. Fucking bus people.
Yeah.
And, most importantly, the theme of it, deciding to do yes. He's a dude who, like us and like a lot of things that we've talked about before, but, just not saying no to opportunities and shit like that. And when somebody who is so passionate about what they do and they just keep just doing stuff and putting themselves out there. And he's seeing the success from just running with it,
Yeah, he
being passionate
definitely
and not compromising on, the dreams that he's got.
Absolutely. He definitely embodies all of the characteristics for, the perfect guest for our show. The people that we've been looking for from day one, which are people who are, chasing their dreams and just kind of creating it as they go along, by just being open to it and just
putting the work in.
Yeah, of course. Putting the work in and hustling and just, trusting that it's going to work out despite what other people are all around you telling you what's good enough, what's, acceptable, what you need to do. You're just kind of making your own path, blazing your own path and figuring out, what you're going to be, creating something new.
And just blazing in general.
Yeah. And blazing in general.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens when you start working at the clinic.
That happens, man. So if you guys want to check them out, you guys can check them on SoundCloud, Spotify, Instagram. All those are Zimbu Music. That's Zimbu Music. If you don't know how to spell that, I can't help you. And on Facebook, he is B Zimbu, Bee Zimbu.
Yeah. Or you can follow his personal account, which is just Blair McGloiry.
Yeah, you got that going on too. And then can you tell me more about the show he's got on Saturday?
Yeah, so he's going to be playing over at, I think it's called Larry's Sports Bar in Fullerton with, they had to change the location. So if you'd seen it already, it was at another location. I forgot where it was, but they moved it to Larry's Sports Bar in Fullerton. And I might be getting that wrong. So definitely look that up. It's Larry's for sure, sports something. And you got him with Mize, great DJ. They're going to be going back to back, I guess, as well as having Chase and Star Fox, who have both been on the show before.
Hell of a lineup.
Yep, absolutely. It's definitely going to blow your socks off. I will be there doing some live art probably. So definitely come out and check. Get your portrait did. I will make you look very pretty.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at you doing.
It will be
portraits now
something
and
you're
shit.
going to want to frame and put over, the chimney or something. And we're raising money for the Lost in the Sauce campout, which all of us will be at. Chase, Zimbu, myself, Kevin, we're all going to be there rocking out. We're doing our first ever thing with Psychedelics Lions, our first festival with Psychedelic Lions down there. So,
Right
we're
on,
trying to
man.
get all the money we can to get all of our gear and installations and stuff out there. So,
Shit ain't cheap,
Yeah.
people.
No,
So help
it's
them
not.
out. Help them out, man.
yeah.
So
we
fucking-
broke.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the unfortunate reality. I mean, I know you guys might think like, oh man, it's the lucrative world of podcasting. They might just be
But
just
isn't
rolling in
President
the
Trump
dough.
doing really great things for the economy?
Yeah. No, he is, man. He really is. Things are so fucking fucked right now. I know you're trying to bait me into like my little political corner here. And it's just like it's so
I'm not trying to do that.
there's so much ground to cover because everything just happens. It's a career-ending, unforced errors are just made every single fucking day, and it's exhausting and low-key terrifying to keep up with. But the good thing that I do want to tell people about is that like 60 subpoenas were sent out yesterday. Like the actual full force of like the checks and balances of governments are finally swinging into play.
Yeah.
Now that we're here, now that there's like a lot of the obstruction has kind of like they can't obstruct anymore, and dominoes are falling, people are falling, and justice is coming. So
Let's hope one of
that's
them can
nuts.
smash the frog, man. He's just been dodging them
I don't know what that means.
like Frogger.
Oh, okay.
Like he's just
Yeah,
been going
exactly.
and just or deflecting
Yeah.
would probably be.
No,
the
Adam
best,
Schiff is a 8-bit semi truck careening towards the frog that is the Trump presidency. So good news probably to be had soon.
Word.
Yeah.
Well, that's always good to hear. So anyways, we are thankful that you guys are tuning back in. As always, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast. Let It Bleed Cast. You can find us anywhere you could find podcasts, on Spotify, on just anywhere really.
Yeah, the whole
and-
shebang. We didn't get taken off. We're
Yeah,
still there, baby.
We are still there. And you could definitely check us out on Instagram at Let It Bleed Cast. So Facebook as well.
Yeah,
Pretty
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have got all of those down at Let It Bleed Cast. You can catch myself at Nobody Cares Phil on Instagram and flip that around at Phil Nobody Cares on Twitter. And
Yep.
my man here.
Hood Rat Stuff. That's with 3 Fs. And then you could also follow the Psychedelic Lions Den on Instagram and Facebook. Go ahead and like us. Keep up to date with all the Art in the Park events that we're throwing, as well as anything else we've got going on. Yeah, that's just about it. Well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and get right into it with Blair.
I agree.
Let it bleed.
How's it going?
All right, Blair.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I
Pleasure.
don't think we met.
No, I don't think we've actually
What?
met.
Oh,
shit. Okay, I'm always just thinking everybody knows each other because of like the
The scenes
groups
and
of people and
yeah.
shit. Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
You're in a category of people that I call the people I might know. And it's like
Actually,
Facebook.
that's
Yeah, on
yeah.
Facebook, I'm like,
We
He's
probably
like,
are
"Where are you?"
Facebook.
I'm like,
You know what's sad
I've
is
seen that name
we
before.
probably are Facebook friends too.
Yeah.
Because that's just how it goes. You're like,
At
man,
least-
you know 30 of my motherfuckers that I know. Okay, you is my friend now.
Exactly.
You best wait, let me fix that. You best be my friend now. Like
Right?
shit.
I mean, how could
I
you
ain't
not
that
be?
bad yet. Like if we're on.
Oh, I
Yeah.
do have gifts. I'm probably not going to smoke because I got out of the hospital not too long ago.
Oh,
from,
shit.
Like, asthma shit.
Well, I mean,
But, like,
Probably
I was
some
actually
idea.
thinking I was going to turn you guys down because I just got off of 10 days of no eating food. And so, like, I'm.
Wait.
Yes.
I just hold on, yeah, you gotta rewind that for a second. I'm like, is this a negative here? What is the side effect that's going on?
So my thing is, I'm just like trying to ease back into food, and I'm wondering, and I don't think so because I smoked a little
You're
bit
trying
of
to
weed during
ease
this
that
climate.
into food.
I'm trying to, yeah,
The
dude.
source of life and energy that every person on the planet.
Bro, if you fasted for 10 days and you eat an egg and an avocado,
That's
your
true,
stomach
that-
will fuck up.
Yeah,
And the
that's
munchies don't make it. And that's the thing is like,
fair.
that's what I did. I mean, I'm definitely down to smoke a little bit, but I thought like you guys were gonna.
I'll probably have like.
I thought you guys were gonna be like chiefing, and I'm like,
No,
nope.
man, I'm not fucking. I ain't no fucking clout rap star, dude. I don't need a fucking blunt every goddamn 15, 20 minutes to fucking keep myself on this planet.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, we got the lean on supply over there too. We got that shit ready for you.
What do you mean?
The lean. I'm just kidding.
The lean?
The lean.
Oh, sir, come on, we've graduated now.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh, thank God.
You said the rapper thing, and I was
I
like,
felt it. I was like, damn, it's like that though.
no. We're not doing the
We
lean.
about to turn up in here. You about to hear some truths tonight.
Oh,
Shit.
yeah,
Today's the first day I actually went into a Starbucks and actually bought a Starbucks drink that has a really long name in it.
What's the name?
I think it's like a double shot, like caramel, cappuccino, Blino, Cino, Debo thing. I don't know.
I don't get
All
it.
I know
Man.
is that it's flavored with caramel and it's got 5 shots.
Damn. I don't get it. I don't get the name thing because I still don't. I go to Starbucks and I still don't fucking understand what the difference between all those drinks are. I just get a
don't
black
either.
coffee.
I don't either. I literally walked in there and I was like, hey, I get the same thing all the time. Can you give me something that has espresso shots, but also tastes good, but it's strong as fuck?
Yeah. Surprisingly though, I'm not craving caffeine right now.
I needed it because I fucking got off work and I mean we like work with weed. Like we legitimately just like work with weed. Like I'm
Where do you work
trimming.
at?
I work at a dispensary in mid city.
Which one? Cookies?
No, actually it's called the Pottery. That's just a jar that came from Cookies, but it's like a fairly newer spot, I guess. I think it's been around for a few months at least. I mean, no longer than a year for sure.
Right.
We just opened up a new location. It's chill. It actually just had like a live stream yesterday with weed times or high times.
Okay.
It was so funny. We were like in the back, we're all trimming, and like our fucking supervisors just has the fucking live stream that's happening inside of the fucking pottery store.
Like a live stream for Instagram, Facebook, or
Instagram.
What?
It was like an Instagram live stream of them like checking out the place and I guess like checking out like the cultivation that we have at the place. And we're just sitting there trimming. They're like, "Don't come back here! Don't come back here!" And that's what, like we're like not on protocol. Like nothing is protocol at all.
Oh,
we work in a
shit.
fucking dude. We work in a goddamn shipping container right now.
What?
I'm not even joking.
So, how long have you guys been around? Like, how long is the spot that you work for?
I mean, I personally have been there for like 3 weeks.
Okay.
3.5 weeks. So I don't know shit. But my homie who got me the job, who actually miraculously is also one of my best friends from high school.
Okay.
He had been there for at least like I think like 6 months, like 7 months or so. So he saw when I guess the shop had just, I mean, right before he started working there, I think they had just like started growing plants because the law had passed that they were able to do so.
Right.
So they were growing their shit like indoors.
But is this a fully legal one?
No.
Because I just went to a fully legal one just recently.
Yeah.
And that shit was like, what the fuck is this? First of all, it was advertised, and then it was like not on like Weed Maps. It wasn't on Weed Maps. It was advertised. I forget how else I saw it, but anyways, I was like, fuck. Well, I want a pen. I'm going on a trip tomorrow. I'm gonna go check it out.
Right.
And it looked fucking clear windows, big ass windows, lit up from the outside. You could see inside. Looked like a professional building and shit. I was like, what the fuck? I walk in there.
Some Viceland shit.
It's like huge and nice and looks like a fucking, it was just crazy.
The one at the 55?
No, not that one. Because I know that there's those ones too that I have not checked out. But this one is called Super Clinic, I think.
Super Clinic.
And it's over off
right?
like near Harbor, and there's industrial buildings over there.
Yeah, I haven't been there,
And
but I know of it.
Well, it's interesting because it's fully legal. That's what they told me, and because I was like, why is everything so goddamn expensive?
Yeah,
and then it's even more expensive than what they tell you because then they tax you like on everything.
Excise taxes are fucking killer, man.
Yeah.
Excise taxes, you got the city taxes, you got state
the
shit.
people,
Like,
the people who lucked out with
35%
cards,
tax on some of that.
we got cards before all that shit happened, are the ones who have real medical cards.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are actually...
I used to have those, but then you had to renew them all the time, and then it got to a point where you didn't need
There
that
was a
shit.
point where you could get those that were just, no. Like, I mean, it's like a grandfather. I think it's like more like a grandfather thing. Like if you'd actually like had that situation and you kept like renewing it, even though this law had passed, like you can probably still renew it and reap the benefits of not having to pay nearly as high of taxes.
So wait, this law says you can't renew it or get it? Like,
I don't see. That's the question that I don't know the answer to.
What about you, Phil? I think that you would probably be the one to speak on this.
I have the answers to these questions, man.
Oh shit.
Let's see. So yeah, the medical card and stuff like that. Like actually, I'm pretty sure you can still get like medical recommendations like fairly easily right now.
Right. Yeah.
And that puts you into the medical system. And then you're allowed to get more like THC from like legal places because they monitor all that shit, so you can't buy too much.
Right.
And then you also like they tax it way less. And then, you know, a lot of people offer like different incentives and deals. Like there's more leeway that dispensaries can have with people who are medical patients and stuff like that.
Right. Exactly.
You know, you can be 18 instead of 21 for like medical stuff.
Right. Exactly. It's so fucking ridiculous.
Have you guys seen Murder
Dude,
Mountain?
it is
no.
absolutely ridiculous, man. No,
I've heard, but no.
Have you seen it?
I have not seen it yet.
It's a really interesting documentary. I mean, it's very dramatic for one. In one aspect, it's really dramatic because there's a story behind it. It's about like a kid that moved from like down in San Diego up there to grow and ended up getting killed. Right. Not to spoil too much, I don't want to like ruin it, but then it also covers a lot about you know, the different ways people are being affected by the legalization of it.
Right.
You know, in Humboldt,
no, for sure.
Obviously a lot of farms are going under and stuff.
I might actually check that
it's
out
really
later.
good. It's a really good series.
That's like a side to the business that I know certain amounts to, just because I know people that do have operations up there and who have had operations up there for like a minute, like before all this bullshit has happened, and like to now when this bullshit has happened. Yeah. So it'd be nice to actually get a little insight.
It's kind of a scary thing, more of a deterrent for people to go out there
because I know about that. I know these motherfuckers get raided, dude. Like,
well, not even just raided, like the level of competition and violence and kind of like outlaw mentality that takes place up there as well. Yeah. Because you have the outlaws and then you have the people doing it legit, and the people that are doing it legit are subject to a lot of hate and stuff, especially if you're successful.
And so the outlaws want to fucking go after those guys and take out the competition.
I just heard the other day too that our buddy Ed, I didn't know this, but I guess he had, because he's got a really successful farm that's fully legal up there, big ass operation.
You're not talking about Ren.
No, not Ren. No,
I was like,
no, my other buddy.
I was
Ed,
like, this nigga needs to talk to me about some shit, because I'm like, hold on, you gonna hold this shit up on me, man? I've been looking for work and shit. You're sitting there like, yeah, this is why I buy weed every day, because I.
No. My other homie Ed, he is from actually Malaysia and lived in London for a bit, and then he came over here. I met him through just, you know, the group of friends, and anyway, he's a hustler. He just went up there and he got people to, you know, basically invest in him, and he's turned it into this big operation. But I guess he was followed by a truck with 2 guys in it a couple of years ago or something like that, and ended up getting out. They pistol whipped him and took all his money that he had on him. And since then, he's got like 4 dogs and like armed security like around his place all the time.
You fool me once, shame on me. You fool me twice, shame on you, dude.
But I feel like it's picking up the pace a little bit. At least like the enforcement against like illegal.
And to be honest, that's exactly why I am fine in the position that I am. And as far as this business, it's like I'm in a LA weed dispensary spot that has to be regulated through the state. You know, like ain't no motherfucker gonna pop some heads, man. The only thing that's gonna happen is the government's gonna come in. They're gonna be like, all right, we're shutting down the studio. It's like, fuck, man, come on, man. We're doing so good. It's like, yeah, all these plants, you see all these, we're gonna burn them. We're gonna actually, we ain't even gonna burn them. We're just gonna take them.
We're gonna, straight up, you know, and also the people that go to work up there too. It's a lot about the kids that go up there trimming, and they show that's a huge aspect.
Damn, you're scaring me, because we about to go on a fucking dry spell period, and my homie's like, yo, let's go up to Santa Cruz to actually do like a few days of trimming.
Well, Santa Cruz is different. That's not Humboldt County. Humboldt County is it's notorious, and so like there's a lot more people that go up there. It's like it's just way too many people.
Yeah,
and
no,
so
for sure.
There's people like
it's also got a high reputation.
Yeah, and so you know there's people that they go up there, they get off the bus, and then like you know there'll be cars literally rolling up, kind of like you know pimps looking for hookers or you know, whatever.
For sure.
And they'll just be like, you want a job? Okay, come with us, and you know they can get it that way.
Dude, it's so crazy up there, dude. That's the only place I've ever been to where a girl cat called me.
Oh shit!
Girl was straight up like, we were grabbing pizza, and they were like, hiya, boys. Y'all try to chill with us? And I was like,
what the?
nigga, this is not happening in Los Angeles. It does not happen like that.
No.
This isn't humble?
Yeah, this
Oh,
wasn't
shit.
fucking. This wasn't Humboldt, bitch.
Damn.
I was tripping. I
Dude.
was like, damn.
I need to go up to Humboldt then. No, I mean, but yeah, the thing was that they also, say, just if you don't go up there with somebody already in mind that you're going to work for or something, like already kind of have it worked
Yeah,
out.
I mean, you just gonna end up being a backpacker trying to figure shit out.
Or you could work for a long time and then ended up getting taken out into a field and buried, and nobody will fucking find you because they have lots of those cases and they ain't gonna fucking spend more time finding it.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
But anyways, not to scare y'all.
No, it's
a great documentary. It's probably one of the better ones.
I've had my fair share of really fucking sketchy shit happen to me. So to me, this is just like, oh, all right, we're just gonna add this in the journal. Have shit to look out for. That's cool. All right, cool.
What's the sketchiest thing you've ever seen at like one of the shows or festivals or anything that you've ever been part of?
Ooh. Oh man. Oh, you know what? This is a good one. I think it was like 2000. This was my first LIB I had went to. I think it was. I can't remember. It was 2013. I think it's 14. I still have the pamphlet like in my room. I think it's 2014. There's this moment that happened, and I had went to work. This was my first like festival that I like went out to. That Kim Dorflinger actually got me into. She was just like, me and her go back, but she was like, hey, like, I'm gonna be basically working campgrounds at like LIB. Would you like to have an opportunity to like go to the festival for free, but then you just have to volunteer? It's like, yeah, fuck yeah, why not?
Of course.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my god, first festival. So crazy. Like, that bitch is naked. Wow.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I never seen this before. And, like, I'm seeing like Gaslamp Killer at like desert like festival kind of situation. And I'm like, oh, this is tight. Then, dude, I think this is like day 2, maybe day 3. There was a case where some girl was like on some shit.
Yeah.
Fuck if I know what she was on. But she was going so ape shit. She had a fucking like knife in her hand.
Whoa,
like in the middle of like the crowd and shit. And she's just like fucking like just like worming on the floor, just like screaming and shit and doing shit. She had to be like pinned down and shit. And she's like trying to like accuse like whoever was pinning, security, that like she was like being touched and shit. It's like, bitch, you got a fucking knife in your hand. Like, why are you sitting there? I was like, what kind of drugs are you taking? The people trying to help you thinking they're Satan trying to take your ass out.
What kind of knife was it? Like a hand?
I don't know what kind of knife it was.
I mean, like, was it like
less important than what kind of drugs it were?
Well, I mean, I'm picturing in my head like a butcher knife for some reason because that's just what it goes to.
I mean, come on, what kind of knives do most
hippies take? It was a 7-folded samurai.
I don't even know any hippies that have knives.
What are you talking about? Why do you think they DIY everything?
Oh.
What the fuck?
It's usually the what's it called? Pliers, so they could wire wrap it.
Well,
and then
no,
wire
I mean
wrap
they usually go to like
It's not like they don't even
we're talking like a real knife, like a little Smith and Western, like like type knife,
like a pocket knife,
like a pocket knife, like a okay.
And
this bitch was just kind of like
still
like on the floor and shit, and I was just like, oh dang, this is crazy.
Wow,
this is crazy. I wasn't like. At least I wasn't a little bitch. I was like, I'm never gonna go to a festival again. I've never even seen this thing in my life. I was just like, well, I guess this is what happens when you go to a festival sometimes.
Were you like right there, or were you kind of like off?
I was kind of off to the side because there was like a campground like station. Like we had like a vendor station. And we kind of like were like basically we were stationed next to like I think it was at the Boogaloo. No, that's the Wookie station.
Yeah,
we were based right there. You know how there's like spots like all over in different stations. So like there'll be like the campground, and we are the guys who have all the maps and stuff and tell you where everything is and shit. So we're stationed here, and all of a sudden we just see like the crowd like amoeba like away from the center. And it was like everybody had like saw a spider on the floor, like spider, and they all just kind of like ran away from that spot. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then you just hear this girl just like, I'm just like, what the
I think everybody sees something crazy at LIB.
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
for
like,
sure.
I saw something crazy at my really crazy my first time at that spot too. I think it was 2015.
Okay.
The same kind of shit, but like just out of his mind. Just like fucking out of his mind.
No, I think as far as like really wacky, really absurdly wacky shit, I think that's the craziest. I mean, I've seen like other crazy shit. I mean, you know.
What about while you're playing? Anything ever happened crazy while you were playing, like or at one of the shows that you were actually like performing at?
I mean, having a girl twerk on my dick while I was playing a DJ set.
That's pretty cool.
I know. That was like still kind of crazy to me. I was just like, "But you have a boyfriend. What the fuck are you doing?"
Dude. Well, that's what happens when you lay it down so fast.
Right? She's like, "Do you mind if I dance?" And I'm like, "No, of course I don't mind." Oh, right there. Nah, of course I don't mind.
So that everybody knows now, you.
Oh shit!
We
started the interview already.
Oh yeah, we've been on it, bro. We've been.
Let's record this. I thought we were just kicking it.
You're full of it.
Oh no, I'm totally full of it. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. That's hilarious. I love this. I was just talking about this. I forgot who I was talking to, but I was just talking about this with somebody, and they were like, "Yeah, great interview. Shouldn't feel like an interview. It should just feel like we're just shooting the shit." And, like,
that's why we don't tell you that we started.
Yeah, exactly. You know what is funny is like I had a feeling too.
I'm sorry, I've listened to you for the last 20 minutes, man. You do not need help.
Yeah.
Man. Like
your energy level is great.
You are a goddamn professional about this.
It's probably because these 5 shots of espresso down my goddamn stomach.
The best fucking commercial for Starbucks. Like,
this is the energy that you have to possess to be a fucking drummer the way this guy is. You don't even know, dude. This guy is probably.
We just met, so I haven't seen him around before.
I feel like.
At first, though, I did think, it's like, didn't he say he was a drummer? This girl was twerking on his dick at a show? I'm like,
no.
And he's playing.
Oh, yo.
I would say
if that shit happened, I would have won a Grammy for that motherfucker if that shit actually happened.
I would say like right there with Star Fox, but even more like this guy does like everything in that way, like the full spectrum of the scene. Like he DJs and he fucking plays in live bands like all the time. It's just a constant gig for you, and somehow you manage to do it so well and not get overwhelmed. I don't know, maybe you do, but like you fucking
yeah. Sometimes there are times when I do get overwhelmed, but that's because I have this tendency. I'm still getting better at it, but like. It's hard to say no.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel it.
It'll be like an actual gig or like even like a favor for homies or friends or yada yada. They're just like, we really like your talent. Could you possibly help us do this thing? And I'm like, all right, dude, for sure. Like, dude, I get it how it is. And then I realize I'm like, this motherfucker's commitment, dude. What the fuck did I just sign my ass up for? Dude?
But that's because you love it. You love doing it, and everything really is an opportunity that you don't know where it's gonna go as well.
Absolutely,
very true, man. Crazy shit.
And that's literally why I've always like decided to do yes on a lot of these kind of occasions. But until recently, when the dreams and the goals that I actually have set in my life right now are starting to like unfold. It's like they're not a fucking. It went from like. I was a seed in the ground.
Little sprout.
Not even, nigga, I wasn't even a sprout. I was a seed. I was a seed with, okay, if you want to call me a sprout, the sprout were eyeballs looking at everybody else's shit and what they were doing and me being like, maybe I should do that someday. Maybe I should get my ass out of the fucking ground and try to start doing shit. So
like that right there. By the way, we're looking at Phil's freaking TV again.
This is like, again. That just sums up like the whole energy of the room.
That really does. That's art, people.
That's weird.
Is that some Alexa shit right there, where she's like listening and is just like totally
some curating shit,
curating?
I hate that shit. You start talking about like fucking Air Force Ones you want to get. You go on your goddamn fucking Instagram. They're trying to tell you fucking Air Force Ones. Y'all need to cop these.
Oh shit!
So I'm
it's funny that they would even be able to distinguish the shoe from the actual Air Force one. That's pretty funny.
No,
that's smart.
I'm about to say that's some fucking artificial intelligence.
Oh man, it's unreal.
It's like you fucking talk on the phone about shit. like shoot the shit about something with your friend for like a good 20 minutes, and all of a sudden Facebook knows exactly what the fuck you're looking for.
This might sound like some Alex Jones crazy shit, but I swear that it can even
don't
almost
you
read.
fucking-
I swear that it can almost read your mind sometimes, because there'll be times I'm thinking
no,
something.
it's not. It's,
Yeah.
it's not. No, okay.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not really saying that. I'm not saying that it's really gonna do that to read your mind. No, they're really reading your fucking minds.
No, Alex, we believe you. We believe you. It's all good. What exactly is making you feel this way?
God damn,
What a
man has gotten
dude,
crazier.
What a fucking interview, dude. Holy shit.
That was
I
crazy.
saw that. My friend was like, dude, you should probably take a tab and like watch this shit. I was like, nigga, I would never do that, dude. That would make me question my life.
You start just believing everything.
Yeah,
Just
dude.
Like, oh shit, wait.
No, actually, I wouldn't
interdimensional
even think. I wouldn't even start believing. Actually, you know what? If I was probably taking a tab and watching that shit, I would believe he would be Hitler. If he really,
I actually felt bad for him in that one, because I realized, like, okay, now he's finally admitting all of this shit from before. So it's clear that he should never have that big of a platform of people that
He
like
is not
actually.
nah, you shouldn't feel bad for the dude at all. If anything, this is healthy. It's like a nigga that needs his ass whooping. It's just being shown right.
But he's crazy. He's legit.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like this is a moment to be like, hey, Alex, nigga, you crazy, man.
Yeah.
You're fucking crazy. And he's just like, Joe, I know.
Yeah, he does. He does.
so
He's
sorry.
like, oh, you know, I mean, I went a little crazy there for a bit. I went a little crazy. You know, people are. I just got a lot of pressure on me.
Yeah. People are just assuming me about these things. Like, yeah,
Like,
nigga,
no,
because you crazy,
'cause
man.
you
must
said
stop
that
talking about this
stuff.
shit.
It's because you did that stuff. You
Yeah,
said all of it.
exactly.
You know.
And then he tells us like those stories about like how his dad and his parents used to treat him. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah,
That's why.
Yeah.
So people used to say I was a Sandy. People always tie me to Sandy Hook, saying I was a nine. I'm like, you were though.
were.
Yeah, you straight up said that shit, bro.
You said all of that shit.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh,
you know,
Don't mind
I
my
don't.
coughing too, man.
Fucking
I don't want to get too much into the Alex Jones thing, but back to
Yeah,
what
I
we were
know.
saying
It
is
just
that,
you
support
know
mental health treatment,
That's
people.
why I love these interviews. You just shoot the shit, man.
yeah. I do like think it's really strange, because whether or not the actual, I don't know, I get into thinking like, fuck, maybe it is all just one fucking wave of information that's, you know, our brains are somehow connected to these things way more than we can even
That nigga's
tell
a
right
wook.
now. You know?
If you want my honest opinion, Alex Jones is a fucking wook. That nigga is a wook. There's some shit. You know how like some people will take an idea and they'll just like magnify the fuck out of it to the point where it's like, this is just the truth. Like, that's some wook shit, dog. It's like, man, read a goddamn book, motherfucker. Like, what's wrong with you?
I think the problem is that he reads way too many fucking things about the shit that he's like obsessed
Okay.
about.
No, man, he knows. This is his brand, man. This is his thing. His whole identity is wrapped up in this shit. He can't
All right.
stop.
All right,
He
we'll
can't
get-
stop if he wanted
Let's
to.
get off this motherfucker's.
Yeah. We're not trying to do that.
Exactly.
But you know, back to talking about you. This guy does it all over here.
Mhm.
Like, you know, he plays the fucking drums probably better than anybody. Definitely better than
He got the
anybody I
stamina
know
for it, for
personally.
sure.
I appreciate
What?
that.
They said he got the stamina for it.
Yeah.
I can
So
tell.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's the truth right there. So there's that, and then he also has been playing fucking huge festivals. He played Electric Forest last year.
No shit.
You know, he's.
Right on, man.
Yeah,
That's
it was-
cool.
Are you doing
that was
Unst
the fun
this year?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
There's like I applied for it. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll hear it back. But that situation, that was a kind of a contest situation.
Okay.
And it was funny. Shout out to Robert, dude. Robert told me about it. And he was like, hey, because he was actually a cat that was working with Insomniac at the time, and he was like, dude, like, your music's tight. I think there's like a few people in Insomniac that actually do know about your music. I was like, people in Insomniac know about my music? That's fucking weird. Okay, cool. And he was like, well, there's this contest coming on, and like, you should probably apply for it. It was like an opportunity to play on Electric Forest. And to be honest, I was like, man, there's no way that's gonna happen. He's like, well, you don't know if you try. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and you know, my thought is like, Electric Forest is looking for like Wobble House and like all this other like
Wook
like
shit.
wook shit, like commercial. It's either like wook shit or it's like more like commercial EDM type stuff,
Sure,
you
sure,
know.
yeah.
And I was just like, this weird fuck.
Well, hey,
There's
you
no
got
way.
the fucking Kendama fucking just like all the rest of them and shit. You know, you fit right in over there.
I mean,
Okay, wait.
okay,
sorry.
first off, there's like 2% of wook niggas that actually walk around in Kendama. So there ain't too many of them.
all right. So for the uninitiated, the fuck are y'all talking about? What is this shit? I've been down.
Oh, Kendama?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's kind of a
Okay.
thing.
It looks like one of those toys that like with the ball.
you know what a
like on a string.
you know what
and
a
try to get in the
bottleneck
cup?
cup is? You know what a bottleneck cup is?
Yeah, that thing.
You put the bottle, you put it in the cup.
Okay,
Put the
yeah.
bottle in the cup. But see, this one, it's just got like it's actually got multiple cups in this one. So
It's like
there's
a judge's gavel.
actually
that shit looks tight.
just enough just to like actually like explain some shit about this. So this guy is like a Japanese skill toy. I think it was developed closer around in like the 60s or so, and I think the first non-Japanese folks that actually like played with this, and there's actually videos of it. I think it was like Queen. I did a tour in Japan, and they had got these as gifts.
Oh, what?
And there's like videos of them being like, "Oh, what is this? Oh shit! Oh fuck! Whoa, it goes in the cup! What?" And they're just like freaking out. Like it's kind of sick. But yeah, dude, like this. Basically, it's like an analog yo-yo.
Yeah,
That's just what it is.
Okay.
And so yeah, you have like this. You have all these different cups that you can actually land them in. You can also land it in the spike here too.
Uh-huh.
that's
Not
like
only-
that's like the 1,000-point shit in the skee ball.
That's
thing,
like
right
that
there.
50-point shit.
Oh no! Oh, is it? So
Oh
that's
man,
the easy
there's-
one.
No. This is a nice guy for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought you were talking about like
The
the
trick
difficulty.
itself.
Yeah,
I'm talking about like
no,
that, as opposed to the other cups.
no, literally like doing that is like
Easy.
yeah.
For me, the easiest
What?
one
That
is like
looks, like,
the
intense,
top
man.
cup.
No, I think what's even harder than that is landing it like this.
Well, yeah, for sure. Okay, so that's like some
So
extra
see,
bonus
here's the
shit.
cool thing: you have
For the
multiple.
benefit of everybody else too, I'm gonna take a quick picture of this shit right here so people can like know what we're talking about because this thing is tripping me out right now.
Nah, dude, this thing's super dope. You got a bunch of different grips on it. You have this grip, which is like the Ken grip, which is like kind of like stationary grip. And like you pick up, you do this, and then you can also land into the spike in that grip. You can do a Sarah grip, which is like pencil. You hold it like this, and this is actually the traditional Japanese grip called moshikame. And this is a grip basically to test your hand-eye coordination. So you practice doing this, literally going back and forth, and they used to have competitions to see how long you can keep this going. And the better you can actually keep these kind of things going, I'm not going to do more shit because I almost hit that microphone.
That's the drummer skill in you right there too.
So there's that one. Then there's candle. You hold it where the stick is on the bottom. You hold it to the top. And then you have the Tama grip, this is called the Tama. This is the Ken, which is the stick thing. Tama's the ball. You actually hold it by the ball, and you put the Ken on top of it. And you can either land it like this or land it in here and do a bunch of other stuff. So with all that combination, basically it's like I said, it's like a yo-yo. It's not like a singular trick. When like in yo-yos, when you do a trick, it's not just like a walk the dog. Guys who actually do yo-yos, they do like 8-9 tricks that is considered like one trick. It's like almost like Tony Hawk. It's like, oh, do your best trick. But it's like, yeah, you can do like a kickflip or like an impossible and get 250 points. Or you do an impossible to a manual, to a 50-50, to another nose manual, to like into the ramp and then like fucking do a backflip and then invert as you fucking land down and then manual off of that. Like that's how fucking insane kendama tricks are.
How many of those do you own?
Dude.
Right now? Oh man. This...
Are you like Mark? Mark's getting like a new one like every fucking
Yeah,
week
I
and
don't man, fucking Mark, dude.
Damn.
Yo, shout out King, dude. I gave him the bug, dude. I came through with the serum and I showed him that shit, and he all of a sudden he was just like, Blair, I got a kendama. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Like immediately, like I start seeing videos and I'm like, oh shit, here it goes. And then like the next time I see him, he's got like 3 more, and I'm like,
at Mutech they brought a whole bag full of them for us to go around.
Yeah.
I had one around my neck the whole time.
yeah.
Doing
I
it.
mean, and it's funny. It's like almost like me and Mark. We haven't like talked enough about it because I've just been doing stuff. But like, I think I have a really good feeling me and him are going to actually pursue trying to develop or expand the kendama community in LA, because I don't even know kendama community in LA in the first place. I don't think he does either.
I had one way before I started seeing you guys do this, locked away in my closet, because my friends from work used to do this all the time. Like 2 guys.
And this was an older thing. This
Yeah.
popped off. This popped off in the U.S. or at least in L.A. or in California when like vaping started popping off.
And
Literally,
the fidget
because I
spinners and
remember,
shit.
dude. Oh, by the way, can I vape? in here?
Yeah, of course.
You can do anything in
Dude,
here.
man, I just want to ask. No, it's
I
I'm a
appreciate
nice
that.
guy.
Yeah.
But
respect.
dude, no, I remember they with for me. I mean, the guys who are pros now were doing that. I think around like 2000 and like.
So they're like
8 or
competitions
9.
and pros and
Oh
stuff now?
hell yeah, dude!
Why wouldn't there be, right? There's
Yeah.
for everything, right?
No. So I mean, dude, it's like skateboarding. Like that's why some people like think of this as like a skateboard type thing, because it's like the competitions. There's all different types of like subdivided categories of competitions, like best trick or like longest something or like yada. And there's like a bunch of different like subcategories, and then there's like beginners, novice, and advanced and pro level like divisions and stuff. Like, and this was like a long development. I need to like watch a real like Kendama documentary and like really get like more juicy details about how it developed. But it's really interesting because the people in these companies now, like especially like American or European kendama companies, were the guys that picked it up when it first started becoming popular. And so that was like 2008, 2009. They were like in high school. They were the kids. They were the fucking nerds in high school doing that shit. People were just like, look at this nerd doing this shit. And literally like 2 years later, while he's still in high school, he's doing crazier shit. So everybody's like, wow, this guy's fucking cool because he's doing tricks nobody else can fucking do. And like now, it's like 5, 6, 7 years later. And now they're the guys running these companies, creating these companies, and expanding the community, which I think is fucking amazing.
That's pretty
great.
cool.
That's incredible.
It's
man.
like really fucking cool. They're going all over the world. There are kids from all over now that are playing with this thing because like I feel like they themselves made it a mission to spread the word. It's like the guys that were into Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
You know, Smash Brothers was actually a really small community because like they were like people that were like, whoa, this is an awesome game. It's the same things like this is awesome little Kendama, and everybody's just fucking around with it. And then there were those real guys that would like go all pass out at some dude's fucking house and bring like 30, 40 niggas in this house, have fucking Smash Bros tournaments for 2-3 fucking days, trying to win $100, $200, $300 fucking dollars to take home.
It's true.
But like now, guys like that, like Mango's a perfect example. If anybody that's like familiar with the Smash Bros community, Mango was one of the original guys in that Smash Brothers competition community that is still doing it now. That is like he's got his own like team of like, you know, elite like gamers that he sends out to competitions, and he still competes, and it doesn't. It's like, you know, when you really give a fuck about something and you're really passionate about something and you allow that to just kind of keep carrying,
it grows. It
grows. And eventually it spreads.
Yeah,
it's like
people,
when you
people
don't give
feed off
up,
of it.
it's the fact of not giving up to the point of seeing this get on such a high caliber, which makes it so rewarding for those guys.
You guys got me fucking around with it more than I ever would at any other time, because I mean it's been there and I just like brought it around, and I mean I literally see you and Connor wear that everywhere.
I ain't never heard of this shit. You got me into it now.
It's my fault. I'm getting God, man, I'm getting everybody on it. And it's funny because
It's like a gang, straight gang.
It's becoming a gang, you know? Like, and you know who honestly really brought it back, and I have to give him credit? Fucking Thomas Saruda, dude.
Thomas Saruda? Who's that?
Yeah, Saruda. Bass artist, bass music artist.
Oh, see, that's
Nick, you better go back home and do your fucking homework.
I know. Yeah.
He's a part of, have you ever heard of like Courteous Family?
Bro.
Shout out Courteous Family.
I'm into bass music because like Kevin got me into your guys' community of people, and I really got into all that way. So like there's a lot of
change my tone
yeah.
and not be a little dick shit over here.
No. It's good because like I definitely have
shout out to him for two reasons. One, meeting him is he, and also Gina Crow. Shout out Gina Crow, Huxley Ann. Those two.
Okay, I know who she is.
Actually were the first two bass music artists that I had ever discovered.
Okay.
And I remember I was in an old band with my guitar player, and they were roommates at the time.
Oh,
my guitar player was telling them about our music, so they came out to see us play, and they were like, dude, you're like the craziest drummer ever. So I've never seen anybody do that. And I was like, dude, sick, like awesome. And then like Stu was like, dude, like these guys are DJs and like their music is like, dude, you would fucking love this music. And I remember they were playing the show at the Dirty Laundry in Hollywood, And I remember that was the first time I went to the Dirty Laundry too. I was like, oh dang, I didn't even know there was a fucking club under this motherfucker.
Right.
Like, dang. And it's all
No
snazzy
vacancy,
and shit,
all those
all
places
dark
are
and like,
cool.
you know, it's like, you know, nice and moody, and they're playing in like the little the venue spot like around the corner from the bar.
Yeah.
And I hear this music and I'm like, you know, I had been a fan of like Low End Theory, you know, type hip hop like music for like a while, and like Flying Lotus and like No Such Thing, and you know, DJ Nobody and Daddy Kev and all these things. But then like hearing this approach to this music was the first time I ever like experienced that, and I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, it kind of just, you know, transformed. I mean, from what I could tell from the music, it's like it's still a relatively new, at least like all of the bass waffles type of music. It's still like evolving from, you know, dubstep and
like,
rhythm and drum and bass and everything kind of forming, and glitch hop even into like just one fucking concoction. And
if to be fair, I would have to say yes and no, because like I think it's like describing like what actually is bass music,
right,
is like to me the hardest thing, you know, because it's like what actually was the first original form of bass music,
right?
You know, to me, the first original form of bass music would be Aphex Twin and Square Pusher back in the 90s.
Okay,
Aphex
Twin would be
I can see
considered
that.
bass.
Oh hell yeah!
Okay.
Oh hell yeah! And I mean, the approach to what they were doing wasn't like heavily based,
Super
because
experimental.
It was experimental,
Mhm.
but like the ideas of like where we have evolved from bass music, I have to give those dudes mad credit.
Because your guys is very, the way you engineer it is very experimental
Mhm.
and textured, and it's like, and
Right.
it's something that the producers, and that's your whole community basically is friends that are all producers that like feed off of each other's
Yeah.
shit. You guys, oh shit, everybody's there like,
hell yeah.
oh
Yeah, for
fuck, you guys
sure.
are just like, every time somebody comes up with a new weapon, it's for the average person, we're just like, we might not recognize as much because we're not producers that like understand what it takes to like
Don't have
create
that refined
that
palate.
certain sound that, you know,
Fair.
hasn't really been created
Absolutely
yet.
fair,
And
fair,
so like you guys are like, whoa, what the
Yeah.
fuck? And then it pumps you up because you're like, yeah. And then you start to realize and start to notice, and you know, the more you listen to it, you're like, yeah, that's something I haven't heard before. you
Right.
know?
Yeah. No, that was one of the main reasons I really got into it. I was just like, I've never heard music like this before. And the other reason why I really love bass music is everybody who's actually like creating their flavor of bass music, it sounds like them.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't sound like, you know, there are some folks, I mean, in some styles of bass music where it's like people might have like similar sounds, but it's like this cut of that sound is that individual.
Right.
It's like, it's very jazz oriented to me. It's like you can put John Coltrane and Charlie Parker in the same room and they can both shred the same, but they will have different flavors of how they approach singing that voice. And it's the same exact thing in bass music. And when I discovered that, I was like, holy shit, I need to be a part of this.
Well, and that's kind of how I consider it too, because it's definitely a lot more freeform. See, I come from a background in the electronic way of house and techno.
Right.
And
fair
so
enough.
that's, I mean, more like, you know, a simple, the heartbeat, where you can also with that style of music differentiate DJs by their sound.
Absolutely.
But
yeah, for sure.
But the comparison to me would be like, instead there's blues, like it's like, you know, 3 chords and it's kind of a consistent beat. There's a rhythm to it, and then you have jazz, which is more experimental and kind of like just free form. There's less of a structure to it.
There's less rules to follow.
And so that's where, you know, and the rhythm might, you know, alter or just change at any given moment and go somewhere, stop even, you know, and just kind of go completely without feeling. And so that's what I, you know, kind of equate to bass music.
Yeah, no, that's pretty spot on to me, man.
Yeah. It's crazy, you know.
Yeah, it's a whole can of fucking worms, dude. I feel like, I mean, dude, it's just, for one, it's just gonna keep fucking growing.
Oh yeah.
And especially at this time and age, there's so many, like, there are kids who are like 10 years younger than me who can fucking run circles around my ass
In terms of
their fucking production quality and like just in general. I mean, that's beside the point,
right.
obviously, but like that's just but just that point in general is like kind of like amazing. It's just like, wow, we actually have parents that are supporting their kids to like spend hours on their computers to learn how to fucking make fake-ass
Who would have thought? You mean
they're like, well, he ain't gonna go to jail and he ain't gonna cause no trouble or like get suspended. And by all means, you stay your ass in the fucking room. You be a fucking nerd.
It's crazy though.
Teenage pregnancy's down by like 20% because of Fortnite.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Parents are just like, oh, okay, no, go play on the computer all day.
Yeah.
Like you're not on drugs. You're not causing crime. You're not
Exactly. No, for sure. That's what this one lady on the fucking subway said one time. The first time somebody called me out for a kendama, she was like, "What is that?" I was like, "Oh, it's a kendama." It's like, "What do you do with it?" I was like, "It's a toy. It's like it's a game toy." She goes, "Guess that keeps you out of trouble, doesn't it?" I'm like,
shit old people say.
Yeah.
Guess it keeps you out of trouble.
I'm like, sure, all right, thanks, lady, appreciate it. Thanks for liking my ball in the cut. You have a lovely day.
Right?
Shit.
Dang. Wait, where did you ride the subway?
I was on like the red line. In like LA. This was like, man, I've been riding buses and subways since I was like 12, dude. Like, so I know that whole metro route like no fucking other. I would skate from like my house in like Mission Hills, like over around like the 405. Where the 405, I must have said this exact description like 1,000 times in my life already. But like where the 405 and the 5 and the 118 kind of have a little gangbang together. I literally basically kind of live in that kind of area. I used to skate and / take public transport from there all the way to like
that's way out there.
Fucking like Manhattan Beach and shit.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, when my dumbass was like ditching class in Van Nuys, and we'd be like, we're going to Hollywood, so we just take the orange line, take our asses over to the fucking red line, then go to Hollywood.
Damn, I wish it was like that here. I mean, the public transportation sucks. I could probably
take the bus. Unfortunately, y'all's public transportation.
I could probably take the bus from here to my house and get there tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
And you got one dude with a suspicious hand under his coat that's just gonna sit next to you, even though the rest of the bus is empty.
Oh,
that is the kind of shit that just happened to Jessica like 2 days ago, man.
Oh,
I was ready to fucking like get out there and find somebody. Man.
Well, I mean, there are crazy motherfuckers on public transport. No matter where the fuck you is.
No, I was in Ireland and I got on a private bus and this dude, yeah.
How do you do twice in 3 days?
Yeah, dude, I got straight like fucking Euro tripped on that shit.
No.
Have you ever seen it? Euro trip?
Of course, man.
The whole excuse.
Oh yeah. Excuse.
You watch that movie and you think
I still say that to this day.
You watch that movie and you think, yeah, right. I mean, obviously this is an exaggeration. This wouldn't happen in real life until something similar.
Oh no, dude, that shit's real.
Yeah,
that shit's hella real. It's just like, you know, motherfucker come up to you and be like, I know you ain't gay, but you attractive. And I'm just like, oh.
That's a hell of a pickup line.
I mean, it's very flattering. Thank you. You know, I mean, to me, it comes down to how you really react to that at that point. But like, no, yeah. I feel you. Like, shit, like, I mean, random shit on public transport be going on all the fucking time.
It does.
Dude.
Now
like,
I can think about it almost every time I've ever.
Yeah, I know. There's
something crazy.
It's always one fucked up thing.
Yeah.
It's like, all right. You have a normal day in the subway, This nigga getting beat up. Oh shit, gotta get the fuck off. Yeah. It's like, no.
It's crazy when you're in a place that like it just gets overfilled like so much that you're like worried for your own safety just by getting squeezed to death. Like in San Francisco. Like,
oh yeah, dude.
You know,
I couldn't imagine doing public transportation in San Francisco, dude. Yeah. Also, I mean, also niggas out there be stealing like a motherfucker.
Oh really?
There's a lot more sticky finger motherfuckers up in San Fran than they are down here, man.
It's a good thing I don't have shit at all to steal.
No, for real, because like that's the kind of place where we were talking about outside about like making sure you take all your shit out of the car. They will.
Oh yeah,
that shit out there. It just happens frequently. Like
I would imagine
it's just kind of fucked.
Yeah. I could picture that happening more.
Damn, we went from like
the only alternative is fucking.
We went from possibly talking about the history of kendamas to like niggas getting their shit tracked in San Francisco.
So you got an event.
We started talking about fasting.
We did,
and then now we've gotten to getting jacked in San Francisco.
Mhm.
But dude, I couldn't even believe that. I just did 10 days. I did not eat anything for 10 days.
You're crazy, man.
How?
I don't
How?
understand
What do you?
that.
Yeah. What do you do? Do
Yeah,
you like go outside?
what do
You just
do?
take in the energy of
You
the
like-
sun or
no,
something?
No, so okay,
Nuts
I'm
and
sitting on the
shit, like,
I'm
what?
sitting on the computer and I'm like looking and I see that Blake, our homie Blake, posts this thing that says, "I just didn't eat for 10 days. I recommend it. I feel amazing. I recommend it to everybody." And I'm thinking,
That looks like some fucking clickbait.
he posts this on his thing and I'm thinking like, what?
Isn't
And then
Blake broke as fuck? Like I don't know if that was a choice, man.
No, he's probably got more money than me. But anyways,
Damn.
I was just like, okay, I'm gonna check this out and look into whatever it is because I'm seeing in the comments these other people are like all of a sudden too. It's like one of those things where you're like, yeah, right, that would never exist until it does, and you're like, all of these people are
Right.
talking about this now and how they've done it for 14 days, or Jeremy Torres said he did it for 31
Hey man,
days.
I've been on this coffee enema for 2 months, man. I highly recommend it. It's like, I'm not sticking a hose up my ass.
So I'm like, okay, whatever. I research it and I see what it is,
Was
and I'm,
that 5-shot Starbucks though?
Yeah.
Like that's
Hey, you know
Hey,
what?
let's go into
This
a
is doing
festival.
mighty good. It ain't giving me no Yamaguchi in my stomach.
Hey,
I'm actually really happy right
and you
now.
didn't have to put it in your butt. Like
Yeah, no,
fucking win-win, man.
no.
Starbucks.
I mean, you know, we do got a little crew called Boofy Gang, but like, we don't really like do like,
oh yeah.
we don't do Boofy stuff.
know.
You know, we just get weird with it. You know what I mean?
but yeah. So I go and
Shout out Boofy Gang.
Boofy Gang. I talked to Miriam. I don't know if you know Miriam. I remember Miriam.
Oh yeah. I
So
remember.
she's actually a doctor, and so she.
What the fuck, really?
Yes, she's a doctor, but she's
Oh,
not a
shit.
practicing doctor. She decided to go a different path, but she is
She's a
a
witch
licensed
doctor?
doctor. No. She's actually a doctor, and she, was telling me like, yeah, she's done it, and she understands my shit's fucked up. Like,
Right.
I everybody that knows me at some point for a decent amount of time in the past few years, at least, has known like, or has heard me complain about my stomach. Has heard me complain about how fucked up it is. And so she's like, you've been talking about trying to get healthy for a long time. It would probably do you well. And so, not saying she forced me to, because obviously it's my own fucking
Yeah,
choice.
yeah.
But she kind of definitely did put the pressure on me to try it. And so I just
Right.
tried it. I
Yeah,
just started
for
it.
sure.
And, the first day was tough.
I
Second
bet.
day was easy. But the thing was, okay, so first day I was at work and I have all this food places around me with my natural instinct. We train ourselves to like certain times
Be
of
ready
day.
to like fucking eat.
Yeah.
shit
And so it's like,
yeah.
oh, time to go eat. I'm bored,
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
That was hard. And then afterward, I got off and went to the show in Downey, fucking with
Lawson?
the Duffrey show.
Oh yeah, Lost and Found.
Yeah, Lost and Found. So I went out and checked that out, and I started getting a headache midnight. Like I go home early, missed his set actually,
Mhm.
and I just like, okay, next day's Art in the Park. Wake up, energetic, get through it, and went to Base Waffles that night, and then came back the next day.
Dang.
The next day was the toughest though, because I was at work and I was
Right.
I was
just surrounded.
restaurant surrounded by food.
Oh,
working.
cringe central.
But then you know what? The next day it got easy all the way. It was pretty
Right.
easy all the way. I even went to Lost in the Sauce, the grounds the other day with the
Uh-huh.
homies, right? We went to go scout it out and check
Uh-huh.
everything out, and they all got in and out and ate it in the car with me in the car. And I just I had the willpower
That's
to
fucked up,
resist
man.
that. But I told him, I was like, no, I want you to do it because it's a testament to my willpower right now. The only thing was that night after I got home, I was exhausted, and like through the night, my stomach was fucked up, and I lost a lot of muscle. I would not recommend doing this cleanse if you're trying to lose weight. It's not a healthy long-term
This is
solution.
not about losing weight. It's
Yeah.
about cleaning your fucking
Yeah,
inside.
this is what this is about. And I mean, there's still no scientific evidence that it actually does clean out the toxins. However, it does get you. Yeah, it does get they say there's about 8 meals backed up in all of our stomachs.
Right, yeah.
And there's
Right.
supposed to be 5, but Americans, we're kind of.
Apparently, we
You
yeah.
got that fourth
We
one.
actually shout out homegirl Sadie who came out to visit, who was from England. Just kept getting on my ass about that, but it was so true. It's just like, yeah, we have horrible eating habits.
Mhm.
Like we eat way more than we're supposed to. We eat way more than our stomachs are.
It's an
actually supposed to
activity.
do.
It's what we do
Yeah,
for a social
yeah,
activity.
for sure.
All the
It's
time.
kinda
It's like, oh, let's get high and go eat.
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
like
what we
let's see
do.
how much food I can put. Hey, we got the munchies.
But then-
So how do you sustain yourself for 10 days?
So
Like,
that's
can you literally just live?
No.
taking that shit in?
So there is a thing and that you drink. The thing you do in the morning, it's a strict regimen of wake up and on an empty stomach you do a saltwater flush. So you put about 2 teaspoons of Himalayan salt in
Your butt?
a quart of water, purified water.
Same thing,
And
different
it's-
toilet, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Same shit, different toilet. You chug that shit, and you know, within the hour, for up to an hour to maybe even a couple hours, you're gonna have like, you know, you need to be by a toilet because you're gonna.
Yeah.
And then throughout the day, you have a lemonade that you make. So it's like pure lemon juice, organic lemon juice, grade B maple syrup, just so that your body can get glucose, so your brain doesn't shut down. And cayenne pepper to give it a taste.
I've heard of this.
Yeah.
I've heard of this diet before.
And
Yeah.
it's not a diet. Yeah, the
It's a
cleanse.
cleanse.
Because
Yes,
I would not
juice
recommend
cleanse.
it as a
Okay.
diet. If you're listening, do not think you're going to lose like weight.
Yeah,
and
it's
not
definitely
like,
it's not a diet thing.
yeah. And so, you know, there's that, and it fucking does kind of get you jacked. And like I said, I was a caffeine addict, man, and I have not had any caffeine since then. And I feel
That's
No,
insane.
yeah, no. If you can get through that hump, man, you
Yeah.
can do it. Like I was on caffeine for like 14 years, and then I fucking took like a month-long break, and I like, you know, I have it every once in a while.
Yeah,
like, I
no,
don't
dude,
need them
you got that mind over matter, like cold turkey type shit. It's real. Just people are just lazy as fuck, and they don't want to actually like put in the actual commitment to it. Like, I mean, I know this is gonna be a harsh run for some people, but yes, you can stop fucking smoking cigarettes by stop smoking fucking cigarettes.
True that.
Like you really can.
Yeah.
And like same with people who smoke weed. It comes down to how bad do you fucking want it?
Right.
How bad do you really want to like not do this to help yourself? Because if you don't want it that bad, then stop saying you want to fucking do it.
And sometimes you have to go to an extreme. For me, this was it.
Right,
because,
exactly.
Because trying to just cut it gradually with the amount
It's
of
hard.
candida
It's way
in my
harder
gut
that
that
way.
literally like, or like, eat this.
Yeah.
You're just
yeah.
like, no. So, you know, it was almost impossible. And so now, you know, doing that, you starve those motherfuckers in your
Exactly.
gut. And so, you know, now I crave good shit. I crave healthy stuff.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
I'm
I
trying to
crave
keep it on
shit
the-
that's cheap as fuck, so I
Yeah.
can keep money in my
Yeah.
goddamn
Well,
pocket.
that's the thing too. That was the thing. I saved a fucking shit ton of money.
Yeah,
I really, it put things into perspective. You know, it really put things into perspective. Not only the amount of money that I spend on food all the time,
right.
as well as like, fuck, man. Whenever you're hungry, just drink a shit ton of water right then.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do it when you're there. You're just like, no, I need cheese, I need bread, I need meat, whatever. But like, I trained myself to believe, like, if I could go 10 days without any fucking food,
Then
I
you
could
could
go.
fucking-
I could go
you
a couple
even
more
longer,
hours during
yeah,
a regular
and you
day.
can fucking do it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so,
I feel that.
So now I'm IT fasting.
There you
Yeah, I
go.
like that. No, I think you hit on something key right there. Is that like if you can challenge yourself to some shit like that and do it, you know,
It's
I feel like
fucking
that takes in that
willpower,
same
man.
like that same like wrestler mentality.
It's
you know?
freaking
Yes,
willpower.
exactly.
It's real
Brought
willpower.
me back to
It's-
the wrestler days
Right.
of like trying to do that shit.
Exactly, because I feel that too. Like I'm like, oh shit, I used to like run track and shit like that. I'd run fucking 30
Dude,
mile day.
yeah, I
Like,
mean,
that shit was hard. Like
Yeah.
anything life throws at me now,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, ain't
no,
that bad.
I feel you, dude. Like, I was a marcher, dude. That shit's just as hard, if not harder, than football. For real.
Oh, I
You
bet,
know,
man.
and there'd be like, I knew
More brains
fat
required.
ass motherfucking kids marching on the field with more stamina than
Oh yeah, no, that shit was
like skinny
hard. That shit was
motherfuckers
hard,
who are
dude.
actually semi-fit, and they're just like, oh, I can't handle.
You gotta be
But this
alert.
dude's mind over matter, dude. He's like, man, I'm gonna march this 10-minute goddamn field show and fucking do it. You know, it's mind over matter. You can do anything your mind wants to be set to.
The one thing I can't do mind over matter right now is holding my fucking piss since I've been drinking all this fucking water. So I'm gonna go
Well,
do
we're
that.
at an
real
hour,
quick.
so
Okay,
we
you can do that.
Well, yeah. You know. Well, actually, you know what we're gonna do? 'Cause
Shit, is it raining?
sounds like it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, is it?
Yeah, it's been.
It's rain. No, it's rain. That's rain.
No shit.
That's like, yeah. For
Damn.
real. I mean, I heard it was gonna happen, but then I didn't believe it because I heard it was supposed to happen at like
I
4
thought it was somebody
o'clock.
taking the trash.
And I looked outside and I was just like, it's gloomy, but it's not really gonna rain. But it's all right.
Oh,
no,
it's
it's
not
raining.
hot. Yeah, so the headphones off. I'm like, that is coming down. Oh, shit.
So as we, you know, start to wrap this up now, let's just talk about what you got coming up, what you
Yeah,
want to do,
yeah.
what you, you know, what are your goals? Like, what do you, are you
Hell
just living
yeah.
it day by
Yo,
day, or what?
honestly, first off, I'm gonna start off and say life is fucking good.
Hell
Right?
yeah, man.
Because I feel like I found a center of focus towards my goals.
Mhm.
I'm further away from like just having those dreams and having pipe dreams and just imagining them and thinking about them and planning them in my head to now actually like finding the resources to making these motherfucking things happen.
Yeah.
You know,
I
and
feel
actually like being proactive about it, and like also just like being more comfortable in my own skin, like wanting to do what I dreamed about doing, not like trying to like find ways to like enter into the scene or like have a way of like being visualized.
Because you're seeing that it's actually working.
Yeah.
You're seeing
well,
that
one,
everybody
I'm seeing
is.
that it's working, and two, I'm seeing that like people actually fuck with my vibe when I'm just trying, when I'm hustling and actually fucking doing what's in my heart, you know?
Right.
You know, like, because you can tell when somebody's like, it's like they kind of dream about doing it, but they're not really confident in like doing it. Like it doesn't, it's not, it's one, it's not sincere,
Right.
And two, it's not convincing because
Sure.
they're not confident about it. But for me now, it's like, yeah, I dreamed about being a DJ and producing music, and then also like being able to drum. And there are people that were like, dude, that's gonna be really hard. You're gonna have to make a decision. You're gonna have to choose one. And like the whole time, I like that would put me in these mildly depressive states. It'd be like, maybe I do have to choose one. Oh God, no! But then, like, you know, eventually, I stopped saying yes to a few things to make sure I had a type of drive, and to be like, okay, this is what I'm actually focused on. For like me as a producer, as Zimbu, I didn't really have an image. You know, I had a sound, but there wasn't a visual image to it. I didn't know what Zimbu really meant to me. I thought Zimbu was just like a sound of music. And like now, like within these past few months, I'm working with an artist by the name of Kevin Singleton. I don't know I know you guys know Kevin. He's friends with our boy Connor.
Okay.
He also does the visuals. He does visuals and graphic designs for Subfreak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all of those like 3D, like those VR world things, those are him.
Cyber psychedelic.
Yeah, cyber psychedelic shit, like on that fucking like cyberpunk shit. Yeah, that's him.
That's rad.
He's insane.
Yeah.
He's literally probably.
I saw your new logo. It looks great.
He did that.
Yeah, that's dope.
He did that.
Did he also do Animals in the Room too?
No.
Okay.
Animals in the Room did his own logo actually.
That's right. That's what he told me. But yeah, I dig that style. I dig kind of the aesthetic and the art thing for a lot of the people that the base. It is very cyber psychedelic. You
right.
know? It's very
cool.
I
mean, it's cool in the scene because everybody's got their own perception of like what their base psychedelicness of their art or of their brand is. And for me, it's like me and him. I finally found somebody that understands like the kind of shit that I like. Like super into anime. I love that shit. I love like the type of art that it consists. I love the type of music. I love the vibe. I love the fact that the imagination of that world is like literally endless.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so like you can literally kind of create your own space in that.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin really understands that. He really understands that like, you know, there's like niches in that kind of scene that we want to rebring in this psychedelic cyberpunk type of like electronic bass thing. So we're trying to like portray that.
Yeah.
And right now, like me and him are basically working together to come up with like content, like actual visual content. I'm basically building my world, my Zimbu world. It's like, you know how like G Jones has his like visual thing and and like, you know, even Bleep Bloop, like he has a specific art, you know, that's what I'm
You're trying to brand
I'm trying to brand myself.
Yeah.
That's what I'm aiming for now. So we're
it.
like creating this world. We're like coming up with like storyboards of stuff. And so like every release that's like a original release of mine actually always has backstory to it. And it's like creating a picture. It's recreating an image for people to actually be captivated in. And then all of the branding merch that I have and all the images that I'm actually getting together, we actually have I'm gonna actually have some stickers coming up this year for sure. So
that's
guys,
awesome.
look out for some stickers. I think I'm gonna do a basic like black version of my logo, basic white version of my logo, and a few special editions of the Stasis Mini Mix logo. I'm gonna have like a few of those in that color and that print, but like limited edition.
It is honestly what sets the best, in my opinion, the most memorable and my favorite, fucking influences apart from everybody else is the fact that they had these universes that they created. Like you talk about Gorillaz, even Daft Punk, or you go back to Pink Floyd, or all of these bands that had,
Kiss,
these
fucking Japan X, fucking,
these things that go with them and definitely make it more of an experience too.
Right.
And so
it's not just a dude going on stage and just playing the shit, you know, it's like it's like, oh, like I would even say Duffrey, dude. Like when you listen to Duffrey's music and even like some of the, shout out Duffrey, even some of the visuals that go with his music, it's like you're in that shit. It's the same with like Charles I and like Killsmith. It's the same even with like the Cerruti and Huxley. Yeah, it's the same with even like Space Jesus, dude, and like Yeti. Like when you see like Yeti's like visuals that go with his music, it's like, holy shit, I am fucking tripping. But it you're captivated in that space because there's connection. You know, it's cool when you're watching or you're in a performance where you can close your eyes and you're still in that world, you know, and you open it and like you're there, you know. That's the kind of, I feel like that's what you're trying to achieve almost in a sense when you're really trying to expand that, you know, you're trying to expand that visual perspective for people. So yeah, that's one thing that's happening. You know, I have some releases that I am finishing up for a few labels that are coming up. There's one that's coming up actually really soon by a label by the name of Forest Biz. Shout out Forest Biz. They're over on the east side and the Euro side. This is actually the first release that I'm actually doing with them, and it's actually I'm doing a remix of a track of Stellar Fox, who's releasing his EP through that. So he has a single song, and then 3 of us are
Stellar Fox or Star Fox?
No, Stellar Fox.
Oh, different guy.
Yeah, different guy.
Oh,
different
shit. Because that was actually Kevin's first name, Stellar.
No way.
Stellar was his first name before
I think it's... Oh, man, I hope I'm not fucking
before I suggested Star Fox.
I might actually be fucking that shit up. I'm going to fucking check it out real quick because if I keep saying it wrong and I'm going to hear about it later, they're going to be like, bro, come on, man.
You can hit us up too. We can correct it later.
No, we gonna.
We ain't live. We ain't live. It's good.
It's 2019. It's all good. We can do this real quick. It's like right around the corner. But yeah, I'm doing a release with them. I've always been a big fan of their music. Like, they actually like found me. Stel Fox, like STELF.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Good thing you corrected it.
Yeah. No, I wanted to make sure because I wasn't gonna do that, but. Forest Biz, that's like they have a specific sound in like bass music. There's like American sound of bass music and then there's like European sound of bass music.
Yeah.
They're like a smaller label that has been actually getting attention from like bigger labels and whatnot. And they found me, and shout out Badja, who would do these YouTube videos. And they're just YouTube videos of streams of people's music that he likes, and like he like uses that to, you know, help promote other people's music. And, you know, when that happened, I was like, oh, dude, this is a potential thing that can possibly happen. But I never really had material for it for a while. And like, he eventually was like, dude, we need to get you on the label. We got to do something. Like, here, do you want to remix this song? And I was like, I don't care what you want me to do. I just want to fucking put something out with you guys, dude.
Nice.
So that's the thing that's coming out. There's a potential EP with another label I work with by the name of Renraku that I'm working on, but there is no official date. So that's why I didn't want to be super upfront about that in case like maybe something happens this year and I can't finish it up. But that's something that I'm actually working on, and potentially also creating a sample pack.
Damn.
With them. And the type of sample pack I'm doing is like a live drum sample pack with like other like Zimbu sounds that I'll probably be like creating, like using modular stuff that I've been recently getting into. And so what I want to do is, you know, do single shot, you know, kick, snares, and hi-hats and all the cymbals and stuff, and then do some loops, right? And then the other idea I have is to take some of those single shots and loops and send them to people that are in the label to do their versions of processing to it to actually add to the library. So then there's like more variety to it. It's just like, you know, you have my sounds, then you have my process sounds, and then we have like, you know, Visceral's idea of process sounds and Host's idea of process sound and Dictate's version. And I can go through the list of other artists that are on that. But like that's something that we're thinking about trying to do. Trying to think as far as any other.
You got a show this Saturday?
I have a show this Saturday. It's with Raw Bass Music Events. Which I'm actually pretty stoked about. Really, really stoked about. Never worked with them. They seem like really cool guys.
Yeah.
And they have There's actually a bunch of homies that are on it. You know, homie Star Fox is on it.
Yep.
Pee Wee's on it.
We all know those guys. They've all been on here.
Friends of the
They
past.
have?
Chase,
Oh, yeah.
Star Fox,
Oh,
Pee-wee.
like that
Man,
whole
I might have to
lineup
go back in
video.
time, and I just want to go back in time and see and hear the Chase interview. To be honest.
Oh yeah, straight up for sure. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a good one,
he's
bro.
been doing a lot, man.
He's been doing a lot. Yo, shout out to Chase, man. That's a hardworking motherfucker right now, dude.
Yeah.
That
He's got
dude's
the talent, man. He's been
that
killing
dude's
it.
trying to get up. You know, there were times I was like, damn, this nigga is trying to hit up everybody. But you know what? Like I said about like owning your goals and like fucking like going like just being proactive about it and just doing it. He's fucking doing it.
He is.
He's fucking
Yeah,
doing it.
absolutely.
And there's nothing that's gonna hold him back. And that's why I really respect that man.
Yeah.
You know, I really respect a lot of people that are in our scene or in our friend group that are doing that. Like even Star Fox too, you know, like Star Fox is killing that shit.
Yeah, he's been doing big shit. Like since we talked to him here. Like, you know, if anybody out there has like not seen that shit yet, like go follow up in the
Yeah,
beginning, man,
Star
'cause
Fox
he's doing
does
big
some
things
really
right now.
cool like live. He does a really cool live show where he's playing a sax and trumpet, and he like incorporates that while he's DJing and stuff. It's really cool. Mize though, I'm really actually stoked for Mize. He's a 40 ounce dude. 40 ounce collective is located over in Florida, and I've been actually peeping his music recently since like they told me about the event, and I'm actually really stoked. It's going to be his birthday that day.
Oh shit.
Nice.
So he's doing like a special like birthday set. Also, what's really funny about that, well, not really funny actually, on a darker side, that is also my brother's birthday. And I'll make that really quick, but basically, yeah, my brother had like passed away.
Oh,
You know, like 4 or 5 or so years ago, and so like this is always, it's for me just personally, like it's always like a weird week. It's always a weird week. There's like always like just random emotions, and then people are trying to just like be communicative, and I'm just kind of like, the fuck out of my face, what the fuck kind of shit. But like,
Yeah, that's what
it's good. But it's gonna be cool because I get the, I've always expressed this in a way where it's just like always just positive regardless. So like that's what the whole set is going to be. It's going to be dedicated to him, but it's just like it's going to be something that everybody that shows up to that show gets to experience, because it's just like this is a part of this. You get this
personal.
it is personal. And everybody gets to actually feel a very special moment on that show. So that's another reason why I'm really excited to play the show, because I have some really cool music and some personal shit I want to like share with the world that night, you know.
That's awesome, man.
I hope I can bring my goddamn mama to the goddamn show, because she should be there for that.
Mom, you gotta make it to the show.
I don't know.
Yep. Bring your mom.
I'm trying.
So how can
I'll
people
get your
find
mama.
you on social media for everything?
Well,
Or find your music?
I'm kind of all over the place. A lot of my music right now is on SoundCloud. You can find me on Spotify. You can honestly search my. Yeah, you can.
Nice.
I don't have nearly as much of my original material on Spotify, but all of the stuff that I've been a part of on different labels
Okay.
are all on there.
That's dope.
Which is actually still pretty good, because those are still some dank, like high quality tunes that are on there.
If you're on Spotify, man, that's pretty dope.
But I do want to get us some of my original stuff, because before, you know,
what's the name on that?
the name.
Yeah. Like for everybody listening.
Ah.
SoundCloud, SoundCloud and Spotify. What do
Okay,
people search
so
up?
yeah. So SoundCloud, it's under Zimbu Music. Spotify, same thing. It would be under Zimbu. I'm on Twitter, and I'm also on Instagram. That's also under at Zimbu Music for both. I just made it all easy, so every time you just type Zimbu Music, this just goes blah, blah, blah,
That's
blah,
good. You
blah,
got
blah.
lucky on that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
really
'Cause
hard.
No one's like Zimbu's like.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want that fucking name. Whatever, dude.
It's unique enough, If you're unique enough, you don't have to worry about that
We
shit.
were not going to talk about where the
ZIMBU?
name came from. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh,
Is
damn.
it ZIMBU?
You. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, ZIMBU.
Zimbu.
I like it. I like it.
Well, man, this has fucking been fun. You are definitely one of the most fun people to talk to, because all this fucking
It's a
energy.
hell of a way to start up like
If,
season 3,
if he's
man.
not on
No,
the
this
kick
is
pedal,
great.
this is how it goes. This
Yeah.
is by the way, this is our first podcast back from our hiatus that we usually take
Oh,
every year.
yeah, no,
This one was a little bit
hey.
longer than most.
No,
So,
we expected,
yeah.
yeah, but we're back
Now
now.
we're
baby.
back, and we're
You
back
dropped
with
the
a bang.
fire, man.
Yeah, bada boom.
And I can't wait for Lost in the Sauce coming up as well, because you're going to be there as well, and I'm going to be doing the
Lost
other
in
stuff
Sauce is
there.
going to be epic.
I've got some things I do want to talk to you about because with some ideas too, separate from all that.
For sure.
Other
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
to do
totally.
fun clown shit there, you know. So we'll get on that. But for right now, also, we want you guys to subscribe to
Of
our
course,
podcast.
you got to subscribe to the podcast because you got to get the shit in your ear holes
You
every
also gotta
Thursday.
get ready
You can't
when the new shit pops up. So when you subscribe, it's like you get the notification. And you're like,
exactly. He's been dropping nothing but hot advice all day long. Okay, and you guys need to take it. Okay, so go ahead and subscribe to our show. That is Let It Bleed, and you can look us up on all social media as well at Let It Bleedcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple and iTunes and Stitchers and your Google Plays and your fucking. I printed the show last week. I don't know how, but I got it working, so you can actually print the show now. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. However you want to do it,
man.
Go ahead and do it, and then you guys can find me on Twitter at Phil Nobody Cares, and flip that around for at Nobody Cares Phil on Instagram, and my man Dave here.
Hood Rat Stuff on Instagram.
The boy Hood Rat Stuff.
And then you could also check out the collective. We're doing big things now, getting bigger. We're actually doing our first festival with Lost in the Sauce. We're bringing the art to that. So Psychedelic Lion's Den, come check out Art in the Park. Stay tuned for what we got going on. It's always a good time. But you know what? We want to thank everybody for listening. We had such a fucking good time, man.
I had a great time.
I can't wait to jam with you, though.
Yeah,
we're going to jam.
We're going to jam.
For everybody else out there, we're going to jam with you too. As always, let it bleed.